Hello everybody, and welcome to this Speed Gaming presentation of the Link to the Past Randomizer Open League. We've got a Game 1 matchup in the conference semifinals today between Psyduck-Psychos and Clown College. Psyduck-Psychos being represented by Yoshi and Bumble, Clown College being represented by Osora and Mufte. I am Mayan DM. I'm going to be on the call today, along with Tracy M. Tracy, you've been around the block a few times on these commentaries. How are you doing today?
I sure have. Doing great. Yeah, this is the round for Open. Let's just say that right there. Granted, there's no guarantee of anything for the loser, but the winner gets the guaranteed invite to Invitational League. Things happen, teams change, and other teams can get invites. But having that guaranteed invite for Invitational in your pocket, pretty darn cool. And the winner of this, not this game, because it's only game 1, but the winner of this match will get that automatic invite.
Yeah, there are 4 of those on the table. There's another match on, well, another set of races on this side of the bracket, which will be the Boing Boing Boingers and, oh goodness, I'm going to forget the other team off the top of my head, aren't I? Boingers and Biumvirate is going to be on the other side of this bracket. They don't have any games scheduled yet, but I expect we're going to start seeing them soon. And then on the other side, we've got Crystal Roller Crew and Uncle Routers with Crystal Roller Crew up a game. And Underachievers and Ed Was Supposed to Carry Us, and Ed Was Supposed to Carry Us is up a game in that one. So 8 teams vying for 4 spots, but right now we are out and underway.
Yeah, and of course the diagonals doing generally the same thing. We see Bumble and Osora going ahead and starting with kind of the Sank start. We have Yoshi going to the Uncle route, and Mufte gonna do the CAC from the south side. Looks like gonna try and farm some 50-50 bombs here.
Looks like the tier 1 tree pull from Yoshi there was bombs. Yeah, Osora gets that as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you always like to see that. And a flute for Yoshi. That's really, really good find.
A solid early mobility. You expect that Bumble is probably in a position where after you make these couple of Lost Woods checks, maybe you just save, quit, and grab that really quick before getting into the village.
I think I would do that. Yeah, I totally would do that, because think about it. You want to activate that flute when you get into Kakariko. It has a little bit of money from that drop down. Looks like I would have had Yoshi do the top and he's got 4 bombs, so it's fine. And have Bumble get the flute and come in from the bottom. But I mean, I think this is okay. It's just a little unfortunate that Bumble's not going to be able to activate that flute right away.
And at this point, maybe what Psyduck-Psychos is thinking is, wait until you've either got the full stack of bombs, or maybe a better weapon comes out of the village, and then Bumble can be the one who takes care of the rest of the front of escape checks.
Yeah, there's that, and there's also, there's other reasons to come back here. Maybe they'll get a bottle at some point, I guess hammer and powder is pretty rare, but that can happen. A boots for the library item, although we're going to find out the library item right now. It's money, which would be nice. I think it was a 300. Hammer in Blindside is nice. Bombos in Blindside also nice, but we don't know if we need that or not.
It's still not bad as an answer to getting into Ice Palace, if nothing else.
Yep. I even if I have the Fire Rod, having that Bombos for Ice Palace is really nice. And so, like, if I'm gonna find a medallion that isn't hard required, that's the one I want to find. And Osora just doing something totally different, wants to go all the way over to eastern area. Does find out the green pendant was, I believe, Hera. I'm a little surprised you talked to Saha in this mode in particular, since you have to do everything anyway. But we do get that knowledge right away. There's a map check would have done that too, as it turns out. Ooh, a shovel for Bumble. Let's see what else. I don't think there's anything else useful there, so.
Yeah, and that seems like the kind of thing maybe he just makes the left-hand turn and goes and checks that immediately. Nah,
yeah,
looks like this is going to be the front of escape.
Gonna get that flute. Has a hammer, so it can do the rest of the front of escape, so. And, I mean, to be fair, you can do it with bombs as well, but hammer's much better. I don't know if you do the Dark Cross area. Trying to do that on hammer is difficult, so we'll see. Of course, maybe he finds a sword or something, like literally anything to see by.
Oh, we did miss the flippers in the well, by the way, or at least I did.
Yeah, I absolutely missed it. It must have been one of the first two items, because I caught all three of the last ones, and outside of that shovel, it was I mean, possibly all junk, depending on the shovel itself.
Yeah, it was the very first one.
Yeah, there it is for Yoshi. Just a piece of heart as the flooded item for a Sora. And a bottle. I think that was blue, so useful. If we have to do Swamp Palace, I'd probably have my, if my partner wanted it, just pick it up when you have to pull the dam. Oh, a Moon Pearl. Okay, that shovel's very important.
Yep, that shovel's going to be just ever so slightly required.
Fortunately, it looks like, oh, everybody but Asora's picked it up. I don't think Asora's been in Kakariko yet, so that should be fine.
Yeah, Asura has been very much marching to the beat of his own drummer here. Everybody else has kind of been to the village, done the early density of checks, and Asura says, "No, you know what? I'm gonna go visit Saha. I'm gonna come down and get Mini Moldorm Cave with my bombs. It'll be fine."
To be fair, the only other weapon we have available to us at the moment is the hammer, and Mini Moldorms with hammer is a terrible, terrible thing to have to do, unless you run out of bombs. But Asura does get it on the last. See, there's a sword.
That's really classic Rando, isn't it? Here,
No,
do
right?
bomb Mini Moldorm Cave, and now you can have one of the nice repeatable weapons.
Yeah. It's like Yoshi's gonna buy bombs before going down south there.
It's reasonable. The game has been giving out a pretty decent amount of money, so you're probably in good shape there. With the flippers, you're going to get into the Zora area, and it looks like he's going to be okay for that.
Okay, so Bumble saves and quits out of Zelda Cell. We're not going to see Dark Cross. Don't blame him. Certainly doable, but really there's just nothing to see by. I was going to go check that shovel. We'll find out about the Moon Pearl. And there's the flute for Asura. So Clown College now knows about the flute. They both have it. Looks like only Muftai is going to go and complete the front of escape, which makes sense. I don't think there was anything here, though.
No, I don't think Bumble got anything particularly interesting out of this play.
Yoshi gets that bottle. I think it is actually green. I said, have your partner wait till doing Swamp Palace before grabbing that bottle. I think I mentioned it being a crystal. It doesn't matter. We have to do Swamp Palace regardless. This is all dungeons. But the exception would be, of course, if Sick Kid decided to have something today.
Yeah, and we ought to see that check from Asura here reasonably soon.
Yep.
See how Yoshi wants to approach this. Yeah, we're gonna hold on to that first bomb and make sure that the Mini Moldorm gets into range.
I'm not sure how that one missed. But the last one gets it, and Yoshi's got 4 bombs left. It's all good.
Yeah, explosions in this game don't always work the way you think they should. The hitbox on those can be a little suspect at times.
All right, there's sword number 2 on the desert ledge. We'll all be able to get that at some point. Can't get it yet because no book, but might be the
nice thing about AD as opposed to something like Randomizer is some checks in Randomizer can just be too far out of the way. One person does them because you're looking for things, but you can't ever convince your partner to go there because it just takes too much time. But AD, you've got to go to all of the places anyway, so you don't worry about things like that so much.
There's only a few places that remain that bad. Something like a catfish check is still pretty bad, but most of the places, like you said, are either on path or in a dungeon that you have to do anyway. It's maybe left side swamp if it's a sword. You maybe don't do that. That's left side swamp, but most of the locations are like you say, you're going to be in the area anyway. So Yoshi with the money is going to go ahead and do some flippers checks.
Yep, and Bumble going to be the first of our runners to show us the mountain.
Yeah, no hook shot, no mirror, so not a lot we can do here yet, but it's good to have that save quit point. Not as crucial as usual, because we do have the flute. Okay, we do need the flippers. That's a glove. And that's Dark World access.
And that should get everybody to start splitting up.
Yep. Okay, just 20 bucks on the ledge. I don't know if I've seen Gina's Cave. It's probably been done by somebody by now. It is just a red boomerang. I guess nobody has it yet, so. Nice item, but not required. Zora's got a blue cane, which, you know, nice to have, but I don't think Bumble's gonna go after that.
It could be the kind of thing that puts Spike Cave in logic for you, actually.
Yeah, it could. It could put Spike Cave in logic, in which case, you know, you send Yoshi to do it, and then Bumble either has to get a bottle of something, or potentially Cape, or, you know, probably not gonna go grab that blue cane, but it does, you know, make it. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, if I see a blue cane that I can't get, but I know is in logic, I know is Spike Cave. The importance is in knowing the Spike Cave's in logic, not necessarily just being able to do it, because there are ways around it. Back of escape, the key, and some bombos. I don't know if we've seen the map, so I don't know if we can rule out Dark Cross, but Yoshi doesn't want to do it in the dark, so. And Hype Cave. 50 rupees, 20 rupees, 20 rupees, and a bottle. Okay, so now both our runners on the Psyduck-Psychos have bottles. We'll see if the Clown College managed to split it up as efficiently for bottles, so that they don't have to grab the other ones. Or if one of them will end up with 2 bottles and the other with just 1, or with none.
Yeah, there's still 2 more floating around out there in the pool. You don't have to worry about it all that much. There's the knowledge for Clown College of where that glove is. That'll get them into the Dark World here in the near future.
Yeah, I only worry about that bottle if this check that we're going to see from Yoshi ends up being something important. And it doesn't, so one of the Sora will check it at some point, and if Mufte doesn't have a bottle, they'll be fine.
I think Asura saw that while he was going through the village and activating his flute and so forth, so I'm pretty sure Clown College knows that one already.
Yep, so we're all good.
Probably see Osora pause here for just a second while we find out what the Zora item is. Yeah, he's even going to start walking that way a little bit, but says,
you know,
maybe not.
Yeah.
Or maybe so.
Yeah, no, I think he wants the blue cane. I mean, it's not a bad item.
It's certainly not lacking for the cash money to go buy it, but now he's decided against it.
I wonder if there was a bit of discussion as to whether he should pick that up or not. Looks like we're gonna get a catfish check from Bumble.
One of those out-of-the-way checks, but it's co-op, so quote-unquote it only costs you half time.
Yeah, there you go. That's how that works. Blue mail from the chess game. That's a nice safety. Nice, pretty free. I mean, it's 30 bucks and a little bit of time, but I think you get that if you're the teammate.
Yeah, I suspect that we're going to see all 4 runners get that one.
All right, so we got a piece of heart at Catfish, so not going to be a useful item.
Oh, and Mufte is going for Dark Cross here.
Okay, well, it could be something. I mean, could definitely be something interesting. Yeah, so it is funny. You know, we talked about the bottles, and they're not important as it turns out. But we do have the 2 and nothing bottle situation.
Oh, hey, it's the other mail upgrade.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, I mean, that I wouldn't go out of my way for, especially especially with the blue mail being so easy to get.
Yeah, I suspect that as long as Clown College just doesn't forget wholesale that the chest game exists in Village of Outcasts, that Asura is never getting the Dark Cross mail upgrade.
Yep. Okay, Bumble gotta pick up a sword. Everybody has a sword now, yay. Yoshi into Thieves Town. Looks like Bumble's gonna follow him. At this point, I mean, mitts are the next big thing to show up, or hookshotting or mirror to get to East Death Mountain. So one of those things is probably going to be here in Thieves Town or in the Dark World checks south of this. So it makes sense to follow your teammate into Thieves Town at this point. You could maybe do a little bit of Skull Woods as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind dodging up instead and looking around in the front of Skull Woods while my teammate says, alright, well, here's what the layout of Thieves Town is, and you need to come in here right now, or you can save it for later when maybe you have the boots.
We're going to get the Catfish check on the Clown College side. Yeah, and we got Mufte already in Skull Woods. I do like it when Skullwood just has that small key in that first chest, because it just makes it so much easier.
And Mufte finds the book there in the Vanilla Big Key location of Skull Woods. I'm not sure if Clown College has run by the Desert Ledge yet, but that we do know that there's a sword there.
We do, and that does give us access to Desert. Now, we do not know if Desert's boots locked yet.
It's also fire locked for sure, though, so I would not be surprised to not see Muftego running right over there.
No, I mean, it could be the progression that the game wants to give us, but yeah, I'm not rushing that book. Oh, we do see Asora's going to go for Pod. Pre-bow, so that's interesting. This is one of those plays that can be really big if it turns out, if there's a bow in Pod, logical or otherwise, you know, could be gettable. That could be pretty big. On the other hand, it could be a big waste of time because you won't be able to finish it unless that bow shows up.
Yeah, at this point I feel like we're still looking for something that's going to crack this open a little more fully. Probably in the nature of a mirror, maybe a hook shot to get around the mountain.
Yep.
The mirror would also give us some of Swamp. So maybe that's the item I'm banking on, but either way, it feels like we're still waiting on one more piece before this really gets going.
Yeah, you hope it's not the mirror for Swamp. I mean, you don't mind getting mirror. You're going to need it anyway, and, you know, that's a lot of checks on the mountain. But, yeah, what
mirror,
you don't
mirror
want...
giving you the mountain, it's more like somebody's going to do the mountain, and somebody may get stuck with Swamp, depending on what the layout of everything else looks like.
Hookless Swamp is nobody's favorite thing to do. I'm very curious what this pod is going to offer us. We do not have an immediate bow lock. And we're still not bow locked. I wonder, Sora almost certainly going to break the right side. Has a green potion to do it with if he wants to use it. Yeah, and we got the imbalanced mail now over on Clown College's side.
And the first dungeon of the match goes to Yoshi taking down Blind in Thieves Town.
And we're still not bow locked, but we are going to see the right side. And Bumble's going to go follow that book. I like this a little bit better with the flute, just because you can get to deserts so easily. Okay, we're just gonna do a straight up mimic clip. Which is gonna be a little bit slower, but does save that green potion for later. Okay, now we do find a small key to give us the... okay, he's gonna give up on the mimic clip and just go for the potion camera unlock.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. It looked like he was a pixel or two away from getting it, and then he managed to pop the mimic back out of the wall. And yeah, that's life sometimes with the mimic clip.
Yep. We're not boots locked at all. There's the big key for Bumble. Still can't finish the dungeon because we do not have fire, but Bumble will go ahead and pick up this Master Sword.
It's a shame you can't light the torches with bombos, but here we are. And Yoshi has pulled the boots, incidentally.
I did not see where those were. Is that somewhere in Thieves Town? Oh, hi, Mitz! Okay, well, that's the thing. So Yoshi finds the boots, while Bumble sees that there are mitts sitting on the torch in desert. That's kind of funny.
Going to work out a little better for Yoshi than for his partner, but at least now Psyduck-Psychos has a really solid idea of where they need to go.
Oh, did no one check Lumberjack until Yoshi just did?
I don't think so, but yeah, that would be a hard required red cane on Lumberjack. Now, it's all dungeons. You had to do Aga at some point anyway.
Yep,
but
we're gonna
now
do
you
it.
know that it's locking out 2 dungeons.
We're not gonna get the end of. I kind of like that, because the end of end of most races come down to a Janet's Tower climb, which is where things are already pretty much known, and then when you add all dungeons, now you're doing the Castle Tower climb. For another 5 minutes. And now, well, we're just gonna have to do that sooner, and it will just be Ganon's Tower at the end of the game. Okay, one of our trackers, and shout outs to Dark and Windfox for doing the tracking, says that Asora did the check earlier, so Clown College has the info. So Yoshi's gonna immediately go grab that book so he can go get his mitts. Bumble goes and gets his boots. I still didn't see where it was though. It was not Thieves Town though. Maybe it was Stumpy? Okay, Windfox confirming.
Yeah, that would do it. In that case, I would expect that Mufte is going to land on those reasonably soon here.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Well, Sora gets to do all sorts of fun stuff in the dark. Have we found anything in Pod? I'm not sure.
I feel like every time I've looked up, it's either been keys or small denominations of cash.
So this is going to end up being like a triple dip of desert. At least for Bumble, who had to leave to go get the boots to come back to get those mitts, and then we'll have to do the back later. Because we still have no fire. And added bonus, we get to get our Master Sword. Yay!
Yeah, and surprisingly, still not really a whole lot of access to things that does. I guess that means that you could do Aga in the dark for Samaria if you really wanted to, but I feel like there's still a lot between here and there.
I might consider doing Aga with a fire rod to get Samaria, but doing it completely in the dark just seems silly when, those fire sources are hard required. They've got to show up. You see a King's Tomb check, which is just a container heart. Yeah, basically the mitts right now open up... I guess we have Ice Palace with Bombos, and they open up Smiths without the mirror, because that's what you want to do with... And we have the Mire area, also without the mirror, so, like, 2 checks and maybe we can enter. So yeah, the mitts not opening up a ton because we can't get to East Death Mountain. Yeah.
And even with Ice Palace, you've got the knowledge of where that red cane is, and how badly do you really want to do Icebreakerless Ice Palace?
You don't. Hookless, caneless ice is the worst. You know, if I don't have a cane, but I do have a hook shot, then it's a little bit better. Not great. Chat thinking it was Quake for Mire, which would be good because we do know where that Quake is. I forget where it is. Yoshi has it. Mufte has it.
And Yoshi now has the mirror that was just hanging out in Mire Shack.
That's a good place for it. Now we can do this check here. Back of escape. Okay, thank you, WinFox. And there's another one, like, do you go into Mire without the cane? Knowing
exactly where it is.
Knowing where it is, you're
chance.
not, yeah, you're not, yeah.
Nope.
Not yet.
Gonna have to be down to fewer logical checks than this
Yeah.
before the game can convince me to make that play.
I might have considered it if the mirror hadn't shown up, but we got the mirror, which opens up all of East Death Mountain, light and dark, which is a ton of checks, all but Hookshot Cave. I don't know if anybody of these 4 players hovers, so.
Yeah, it looks like Yoshi is going to head right for those East Mountain checks.
And we're getting word from Derek that Osora can hover. Apparently both players on the right side can hover. So I don't know what the key layout was to Thieves Town, but I'm guessing that the small key was in Zelda Cell, or sorry, in the Maiden Cell, because Bumble just skipped the pot key, which is faster if you don't need both keys, but it doesn't have a key yet, so. Oh, there's no small key. Yeah, but did I not see? Okay, maybe I must have missed it, because it looked like he skipped the pot key, but he must not have. Okay, we're in Hera for the first time. Are we gonna have to go dig out the big key? Because that small key was in the basement cage. Yes, indeed. We need to dig out the big key. And Yoshi says, you know what? I have a mirror.
We're not
I
going
can come
to
back.
because I have no fire. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The continued lack of fire is becoming a theme of this.
It is, yeah. And, you know, it's so... We're 27 minutes in with no fire, which is late enough that you just start assuming you have fire. When you don't. We're going to find out the Turtle Rock entry requirement immediately. Open it up if we can.
You got 2 of the medallions already. You've got a decent chance of getting in here. And hey, the 2 medallions we need are the 2 medallions we've got already. Ether could just be tucked away in GT somewhere.
Okay, surely we have some fire on the mountain.
Nah, it's probably just in ice at this point, right?
I mean, yeah, with the bombos, that wouldn't surprise me.
And it's supposed to be some kind of logical double dip nonsense where you use your bombos to go in and get your lamp so that you can eventually beat Samaria locked Ice Palace.
Yeah, something dumb like that.
Bumble taking down Blind there. That's going to be a 2 dungeons to 0 lead for Psyduck-Psychos at the moment.
Yeah, a little surprised that no one on Clown College has done Thieves Town yet. It was a rod. Was that an ice rod or a fire rod there?
I missed it. I was checking in on Mufte, who just picked up the mirror.
Yeah, apparently it's a fire rod, which is good because now Yoshi can actually do Hera. Bumble's gonna go ahead and pick up the Smith.
I guess if you don't have the mirror yet, you have to save and quit out of the Dark World at some point anyway, just to go get it if nothing else.
Yep.
So picking up the Smith before you do it makes sense.
So to answer where was mirror, it's in Meyershire. We're about to see it on Asora's side.
And let's see about this Smith check from Bumble.
Just money.
Yeah, cash money.
Now I imagine you flew away, get your mirror. And if you want to finish out the Smith chain, you do it then. And so Yoshi will full clear Hera. And then if it's nothing, then Bumble will just do it before GT. And now we see Mufte doing the Hera play, and we'll get the Fire Rod as well. Be interested to see if Clown College decides to do the Paradox Cave checks, which we haven't seen yet. I imagine Yoshi will do them after Hera. Powder is a nice item. Both items on the floor there. I could see picking up the powder if you're the other player. It's not too far out of the way, even if you don't need it, but...
Yeah, it's a reasonably quick drop in. I think the larger question really is, if that powder doesn't lead to anything, when is the other player, when is Bumble in this particular scenario, going to Tower of Hera?
Right before GT, I think. So it won't if he gets the powder, it'll be specifically for GT climb. Alright, and Bumble's gonna drag this purple chest so that he can check the item here at K45. Oh, well, we need that. That is a nice rod. Okay. So, what are we missing at this point on Psyduck-Psychos? We're just missing bow and hookshot.
Bow, hookshot, technically lamp, and you know where Samaria is, but you have to go fetch it still.
Yep. You know, with the fire, I wouldn't surprise me if runners went ahead and did this with the fire rod just to get that Samaria. Get that Aga locked. You know, go to Ice Palace with that Samaria and get your lamp, you know. Which is, you know, the funny place to put it. Nothing on purple chest. Now we're going to get a tablet check here.
Nothing in Spiral Cave either.
But yeah, the mirror did lock both our rods, as chat points out.
And it seems fairly likely that it's also locking our hookshot in some capacity.
Yeah, would not surprise me. So light death mountain, a bunch of trash though.
Yeah, not really a whole lot to write home about there.
Yeah.
But what that means for Bumble is you get to skip a lot of checks.
Yeah. If I'm Yoshi right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and do active. Get my cane so I can do ice easily, so I can just go into mire. Lamp's probably in one of those locations with a logically required double dip. Doing a little bit of hovering. We do get bombs in the first check. Rupees in the second chest. The scary part about this is if you miss on this last chest, you're probably gonna just orphan this. Let's see if he goes back for it. Yep.
No, he's going to make the one try and say, I'm not going to throw more time at it. It's
Yep.
out of logic. Let's not worry about it. It can't be the hook. It could be a bow.
It could be a bow. And I agree with that choice, because it is a slow thing to try and do that hover again. It's just a little scary. I think we're going to see Spike Cave. Or no, we're going to do Hera first, and then maybe see Spike Cave afterwards. And yeah, Yoshi is indeed doing Castle Tower. I like this. Get your cane. As I always say about Castle Tower, it's not in logic, because not all the rooms have torches, but the rooms that are difficult are the ones that have torches, and the rooms that are easy are the ones that don't, so. As long as you know where to fire the fire rod shot, you should be fine.
Yeah, the one medallion that the runners don't have is the other thing that can make this a lot easier. If you can make all of the guards into glowing, icy statues there,
yeah.
all of a sudden you can use those to navigate the room a little bit. It also keeps them from poking you in the dark, which is not to be underestimated as an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and Bumble's going to go ahead and finish up Skull Woods. I don't know if we have another item left here, but even if we do, I really like this play. If we don't, then it's still, I mean, it's a thing you have to do. And can give your teammate a chance to get into mire or ice, whichever he chooses to do, to get a better idea of the key layout. What item layout. Just given
the amount of time that Castle Tower takes, I like it less if there's not an item back here, because that Cane to Samaria is going to give you so much.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you can split up ice and mire at that point, if you really want to.
The chat asking if everybody checked Ether Tablet. I do not recall anyone checking Ether Tablet.
It definitely got checked. It was, I want to say, Piece of Heart, maybe
I mean,
in the full container.
Yeah, I imagine I just missed it since it was nothing. You know? There's the Bombos Piece of Heart. Okay, Blue Boomerang. Okay.
Blue Boom was the other one. Okay, so I had them reversed.
Yeah, it takes everybody to see all 4 screens. Us two, our trackers, and all of you out there in chat land.
We're going to get some Hammer Moth here from Bumble.
Also, somewhere all our runners got half magic, which is nice, but I don't know where it was. But glad they all have it.
Yeah, they all had it by the time that I noticed anyone had it. I thought, oh, wait, Mufte has half magic. Oh, Bumble's got it too. Wait, everybody's got
Everybody has it. Yeah, yep.
That
was
must have
me.
been free. Wherever it was, that was free.
Thievestown Attic. Okay, yeah, it's very free. We just got the big key on Moth, which might mean the last item is just in the big chest, which kind of sucks. I don't know. We haven't checked the bridge chest. I don't know if there's a small key missing or not. If there is a small key missing, it's in that chest. If there's not a small key missing, then it's 50-50. And in co-op, you know, depending on who did the actual checks in Skullwoods the first time, you might not remember. Yeah, see, like I think if I think if Bumble had been playing this solo, he probably would have known that was a small key. Are we just not gonna check? Oh, we're gonna check Pet first. Pet a much less interesting check in all dungeons. It is just a piece of heart, though.
Hosora's gonna go for the cleanup hover here.
I wonder if he's the better hoverer on that group. I don't know.
Looks like he's got good forward progress there. Nails it down.
And nothing. Okay. So, you know, it's a bit of a time waste for Clown College. There's a reasonable chance that one of Yoshi or Bumble ends up doing it with the hookshot later. So, not too big a deal. Okay, here we go. Here's the big chest. Just bombs. Okay, we're done. We're done. We're done in Skullwoods. We'll see if Bumble chooses to go get his cane as well. I imagine that's what you do next. Just go get it.
Yeah, there really shouldn't be a whole lot holding you off from that at this point. It looks like Hosora is heading for exactly that kind of thing, and Mufte is going to get the bad news about the bombs in Skull eventually.
Yep. So we're getting the same kind of... Oh, Bumble, it looks like he wants to do... Yeah, he's going to do Desert first. I think this might be an item as well. I'm not sure. I know he's got the mitts. There might be one other... Or there might be an item back here. Yeah, Clown College knows that the cane is where it is. There's no reason to do this without a lamp, especially if you don't know that there's an item there you want.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that can just be put off until later. You get the lamp, maybe you've got the tempered sword, which makes this a whole lot easier than the developers intended.
Yep. And if you've ever done Castle Tower with Gold Sword, it's a very quick romp.
The problem with that is you usually then also have 16 or 17 hearts and 1,500 rupees, and the lag is real. Doesn't look like Psyduck-Psychos is going to miss any time from having checked this under bridge check, because Mufte is going to get that key as well.
Yep. Dungeons that have a lot of keys that you don't actually need to use, I'm talking Skullwoods, I'm talking Ice Palace, I'm talking Misery Mire, are terrible to count.
They really are.
Like, Pod has 6 small keys, but you know where they're all getting used. You might save one, you know, if you do a hammer jump or something.
Yeah, the bigger problem for Pod is usually telling your teammate, okay, here are where the keys are that you actually need to pick up.
exactly.
The first person in doesn't have a problem.
All right, Bumble going to be our third runner into Castle Tower. Ooh, have we seen a graveyard ledge check? We're going to see that right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we have, but Mufte is certainly going to give us one.
It'd be funny if this were a lamp.
Speaking of tempered sword, by the way, the third sword upgrade seems to have been the standout gain from Ice Palace for Yoshi here. Now, of course, the real thing is you have to clear the dungeon eventually. Dungeons being the name of the mode.
Okay, well, just an ether medallion in graveyard ledge, so no one's gonna, you know, Osora's not gonna pick that up, and we may or may not see the Psyduck-Psychos even see it.
And I think this is going to be a green pendant turn-in from Mufte.
Oh, yeah, we got that already. Yeah, it's a reasonable thing to check. I would have liked to have saved that for Pod, but the Clown College has already dipped Pod, so... Are we going into Eastern? Hmm.
Now, that's an interesting choice. Eastern is one of those things where most of it is available as a really early sphere. Yep. That the Fire Rod can put the boss in logic as long as the big key is available outside of its vanilla location.
Yep.
But no, now Mufte has.
Okay, I like
Mufte
this
has
better.
other ideas.
Just go get your cane. Unless the bow is in there, that would just be a waste of time, I think. I guess Hookshot could be in there too, but...
And at this point, we really are getting down to the level of where are those couple of things that we're still missing, because we're starting to run a little low on locations for them.
We
between
sure
the
are.
two teams.
We got Hookless. We have Bowless Eastern, Hookless Swamp as our well, and we have Misery Mire. I think we're going to see Misery Mire relatively soon. Yeah, we're going to get that green pendant turn-in from Yoshi as well. Now, Psyduck-Psychos haven't done any of Pod Eastern, but they're going to... Yeah, I think you do Mire first. Or maybe something else. This could be Spike Cave. We haven't seen that yet. Trying to think if there's anything else up on the mountain that we haven't seen. I think that's it.
I think Mufte did this with the blue cane.
This could also be... Maybe he wants to just do Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Yeah, it's exactly where he... Yeah, well,
You know you're not going to find a
know.
lamp in it, but the other two things that you're looking for that are a whole lot more important, those could be there.
Yeah, we're going to see Turtle Rock. So, okay, so... perhaps... Bumble goes to Mire?
Seems like it would be a reasonable play for Psyduck-Psychos.
Yep. The only thing is, Yoshi's got Cape and Tempered Sword for a relatively easy Vitreous fight. Bumble has neither of those things. Would have to I mean, this is a very doable fight. He's got Blue Mail, so it's not too bad, but doesn't have any of the good items for that fight.
Oh, you're gonna have the red cane, you know where the sword is in ice. Maybe you just send him to clear a dungeon that he's got to clear anyway, get the advantage out of it, and
I like that.
The Mire play.
I like that, yeah. Ice is pretty fast when you do it in basically go mode. Yeah, and then the nice thing about Turtle Rock in the dark is you actually don't even lose time to not having the lamp, since the rail maze is the rail maze. You just gotta know how to do it. Is Bumble gonna do Pod? That I don't like. You have dungeons that you can clear. You've been out of your way to make sure you could. I don't like it at all. I mean, there's some bit of bias because we know there's nothing here. I'm gonna give back the time that Clown College spent in here.
And it's possible that he could then also dip into Eastern as Psyduck-Psychos starts to get a little lower on the remaining checks available. He wants the cape. The cape, so he's in the area for that, and you say, I've come to the area already, I'll go ahead and do the checks while I'm here.
The checks, yeah.
That makes a little more sense.
And Asora's going to be the first runner into Misery Mire. Surely the lamp is in here.
Well, we know it's not going to be on the boss, but other than that, it absolutely could be.
Either that, it's, I guess, here or Swamp Palace. I think our main main locations left, and Yoshi's gonna have to be a little bit careful. He is the one with the powder, so he's gonna be able to power these anti-fairies in the next room. Well, next room after next room.
The next room that's actually dangerous, anyway.
Yep. Yeah, the game doesn't let you fall into this lava, which is kind of funny because like this is the third Zelda game of the series, right? And in the second Zelda game, you could fall into lava and you just get insta-killed. They said, nope, we're not gonna have that happen anymore.
I think there were a lot of things in that second Zelda game that the developers then said, you know what, we're not going to have that happen anymore.
Yeah, there were. I mean, I always say that. I mean, I always say it's a fun game, but not a fair game. There's a lot of things they could have done differently to make it a lot better.
And in fairness, I do think that it's the most interesting speedrun to watch of the vanilla trilogy.
Yeah, no, I could buy it. It is a good speedrun.
Alright, all of our runners, I think, no, Bumble maybe has not gone and actually picked that up yet, but now everybody's at least done Castle Tower and has access to the red cane.
Yeah, I think Bumble took the opportunity because, you know, it spits you out in your pod, and that's why we're over here. Unfortunately, just used, I want to say that was a blue.
Yeah, gonna burn a full blue to get the potion camera unlock.
Has plenty of money to buy more, but, you know, it still doesn't feel good.
Yeah, there's still that opportunity cost of going over to the potion shop to refill the bottle.
Yeah, because his bottle did not come filled. There was a green bottle out there that some of our other runners picked up. Actually, I didn't notice that this pod key layout is actually gonna be really good for the partners, because the big key on the right side there, you just grab a small key, and it was big key, small key on the right side. So what that means is when your partner comes into the dungeon, you grab the key in the first chest, and then you just go right side to the back, and you don't have to do anything else. Oh, there's our gold sword.
Okay, sure.
That's an easy enough gold sword to pick up that it wouldn't surprise me if our other runners picked him up, but I mean, if you're already at tempered, pretty fair one to skip as well.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. That one's right on the path.
And obviously you're not going to you'll have it for Trinex, which is useful. Trinex and Cold Stare, your bosses that the gold sword will help you out the most. And it looks like that. Still haven't seen where that tempered sword was. It looks like it's pretty on path.
It's an icebreaker chest. It's right
there.
That's
super on. That's as on path as it gets. Oh, hi! Hey, look, a bow on Laser Bridge.
Again, it seems like the story for Psyduck-Psychos has been everything has worked out really well for Yoshi, and Bumble keeps going back and having to make additional dips because Yoshi finds all the things that makes the dungeons that Bumble is doing better.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, those are not going to be silvers because, I mean, I guess Bumble maybe does Eastern, but I don't think you do. I mean, he could, but like, when you know where one bow is and the other bow could just be in GT.
Yeah, at this point it's more like you're finishing out pod because you're already in the back of it. It's not like getting the knowledge of the bow now is going to change much for you. But since you're going to have to come back here anyway, don't sink the time into Eastern.
Yeah, exactly. Gonna end up, unfortunately, with the mirror and the save and quit in the Dark World, we're gonna end up on the Pyramid Ledge because that's what the game does to us. Meanwhile, Sora in the Vitreous fight, making good use of that cape.
And it looks like we're gonna get some Hammer Phase 2 here. Got ever so slightly off his rhythm and had to spin Vidi back over to the right-hand side, but yeah, gets it done. Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't get more on the path than that.
Well, that will be silvers for Yoshi. Oh, Yoshi's just gonna go do potties right now with that bow.
Yeah, no reason not to. You hope that the hook shot comes out of this, and if it doesn't, then you have choices to make.
Yep. So now if you're Bumble, are we going... Yeah, it looks like he's just gonna go ahead and do Turtle Rock. That'll get him a sword and a bow. So our bows, we have found both of them. One is in Turtle Rock on Laser Bridge, and the other one is on Vitreous.
And with knowledge of that bow, Clown College is sending Mufte right into the cleanup for Meyer, and Osora is going to go back to the bow dungeons and go ahead and finish up.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah, both bows are lamp locked for sure. Which means I'm guessing lamp in swamp seems to be, or in Eastern, could just be in Eastern. We're gonna find out soon. Osora and Yoshi both finishing up Pod, and no doubt will mirror into Eastern right afterwards. With their different bows, so neither will have silvers. So Psyduck-Psychos, both runners are going to have silvers. It's entirely possible that Clown College is just going to miss on those. Depends on where Hookshot is, and do they end up in Turtle Rock before or after they find it.
Yeah, it's going to depend entirely on that hookshot location. If it's in Hookless Swamp, I can see that one runner gets up to Turtle Rock and probably finds out where those are.
Yep.
But yeah, if it's just in Eastern, I don't think that Clown College is ever seeing the silvers.
Mm-mm. And, you know, if one of them does find the silvers, I think there's a really good chance the other... I mean, picking up one item on Laser Bridge, not too bad. Not too big a deal, especially with boots.
Yeah, it's definitely the finding of it that's the difficult part.
Yes. Alright, Asora, our first runner on Helmasaur, and Yoshi joining him. Second phase could be a little faster for Yoshi with that gold sword.
Yeah, just a bit.
As the helmet, yeah, finished up a little bit faster because of that gold sword. But nothing on the boss there.
Yeah, that's still why I was a little surprised that, especially in Clown College's scenario, where you know where that third sword is, that you didn't just send Osora to go pick that up and clear the dungeon really quick.
Yep.
It makes a little more sense for Bumble and Psyduck-Psychos knowing that there's another sword in Turtle Rock that he can just snag on the way.
Yep. No, it wouldn't surprise me if... I suspect the Clown College is going to find the sword here, because you're still looking for keys at the point when you go into Crystal Roller Room. Occasionally you get the key layout where you have 2 keys going in there, but that's pretty rare. Oh, God!
Hey, Spear One
hey,
hook
look
shot.
at that!
Hello.
Look at that! So if any of our runners had just gone into Eastern. Okay, so yeah, Clown College definitely not getting those silvers, because that's go mode for everybody. We're probably never finding that lamp.
Interestingly, it could be tucked away. It's kind of going to depend now, maybe, on where this Eastern Palace Big Key is.
Yeah, I guess it could still be in Eastern. I'm just assuming it's in Swamp, but...
That's an entirely reasonable assumption, and I don't hate it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in Swamp, I mean, I'll typically open the Diver Down chest and the Waterfall chest, but on the other hand, if I'm only looking for a lamp, because, you know, like, especially for Psyduck-Psychos, they know where all the swords are, they know where both bows are. There's not a lot left. You have half magic. There's not a lot left to find that you really need or really would want, other than that lamp.
Yeah, and this big key is going to be lamp locked, humorously enough. Now, these are probably Babby's first dark rooms for every runner,
Yep.
so I'm not expecting any problems to come
Nope.
out of this, but it is kind of amusing that we've gone all this way. We're nearly an hour into the seed. We still don't have the lamp, and oh hey, we're still lamp locked logically out of killing
Yep.
Eastern.
Yep. Yeah. Nothing. The rest of the seed will just just have fun with the out of logic because the rest of the seed is out of logic. Yep. And there, Bumble's gonna get those silvers here. Or no, it won't be silvers yet because no one on Psyduck-Psychos is Kill Vitreous.
Yeah, they're absolutely picking up that bow, both of them. The first one who found it, and then Bumble says, well, that's my first bow. Little do they know.
Yep. Definitely an interesting position here. If we look at our dungeons, I'm not gonna count Castle Tower. Everybody's done it. We have Yoshi about to finish his 6th dungeon. Bumble about to finish his 4th dungeon. So a total of 10 once these two are done. Asura about to finish dungeon number 5, and Mufte about to finish dungeon number 6. So they're actually a little bit ahead on the dungeon count. It's hard to really say because neither of Clown College has done Turtle Rock, and that is never a fast dungeon, even in Go mode.
Yeah, and one of them is still going to have to sink the time in to figure out where all the keys are.
Yep. They do get less mountain climbs, though, as Chad has pointed out. Yoshi and Bumble each doing an extra mountain climb because of the bow in Turtle Rock. And now you just kind of do the dungeons in whatever order you feel like it. I kind of like, you get, if you do Ice Palace for Bumble, you get that gold sword. You'll have it for Cold Stare. You'll have it for the rest of the game. Though not a huge deal. Yoshi's going to head over to Swamp.
It's still not a bad one to have. You saw the comparative level between two swords when Yoshi and Osora were fighting Helmet basically the same time. I suspect we're not going to see very many checks here in Swamp Palace. It'll be interesting to see if Yoshi wants to open anything at all. Like, Diver Down, you're pretty close to.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be, the only... Yeah, those, like, because the Diver Down chests are very free, and then the Waterfall chest is not bad. Clown College is a little more incentive to check those extra chests because they don't have silvers. And a lamp would actually be somewhat useful for them because torch glitch with a lamp is a lot easier than torch glitch with a fire rod. Not that it's not. We always associate torch glitch with silverless. It's never hard required to have that torch glitch, but boy is it nice. Sora finally gets to be on Tempered Sword with everybody else.
Of course, now both Psyduck-Psychos are on the Gold Sword.
Yep.
And this is the part where all the runners really just want to run away and hide. Unless you happen to want to try and find the lamp, and maybe curiosity gets the better of you every once in a while, there's not a whole lot that you're going to open outside of the required things until you get to dungeons that your team hasn't done yet.
All right, so Yoshi just did the diver down chest. Nothing useful there.
Take the butter sword, put Cold Stare right in the corner, and away it goes.
Very fast fight. And as far as fight, it's going to be pretty fast too, but it's going to be a little bit slower. It's just going to use the fire rod though, so it's also a very quick way to do this.
Yeah, it does butter sword class damage. It gets the job done.
All right, but I'm going to head over and do Pod Eastern.
Oh, Mufte has let one Armless Knight get a little away. Gonna have to spend a couple extra sticks there.
Ran out of arrows at the end there too.
Just enough.
Yeah, I think the last arrow got put him at 0, so yeah, it was fine. Never a good feeling though.
I guess the more interesting part there is you're doing desert. I guess you've got desert and swamp on the table. You have enough sticks left that you can easily refill on bosses that you're not going to use them on.
All right, Yoshi finally going to go into Misery Mire. And we'll find the big key to make it easy for Bumble later. We'll also do desert while he's in this area. Did you happen to see where the big key was of this dungeon?
In which, Mire?
In Mire, yeah.
I think it's in the spike chest on the right-hand side.
Okay, well, God Mire then.
Yeah, non-hoverers, God Mire. Easy game.
Yeah, Bumble does still need to pick up Quake. Oh, hey, we got a mirror shield for Yoshi. I'm sure that's exactly what he wanted.
You've already done Laser Bridge. There's not really a whole lot of point in having it.
It was funny, I was talking about Yoshi's checks in Swamp, like they already had the silvers. It might have been reasonable for him to check if, really just the one extra spot at the waterfall. Because they didn't have silvers yet. But they will. Very soon. Or at least Yoshi will very soon. Ah, there's the lamp. They could have had it in the waterfall room. That's funny.
Yeah, unlikely to change anything at this late date, but
No.
You never know.
I mean, again, it is going to be of greater use to Clown College because now the torch glitch is basically free. In terms of both magic usage and getting it, and that'll help them out. It won't really speed anything up because I imagine they're probably going to get the torch glitch with the fire rod anyway. But if I'm going into a Ganon fight and I need to get that torch glitch, it feels a lot better to have that lamp. Yoshi about to find out that torch glitch not going to matter for their side.
Hey Viddy, sticks? And Viddy says, sticks. Solid phase 2 quick kills from both of the Clown College players.
Yep.
Mufte may have been practicing a little too much Randomizer, though. He wanted to go back to the middle of the room for the item drop.
Yoshi remembering that I have to do desert too.
Mufte gonna go get the ice rod here.
Right, yeah. Gotta get that too. Let's see. I imagine Bumble probably saves and quits after Eastern Palace. And starts over at Sang to go ahead, quickly get that Quake medallion that he needs for Misery Mire, and then does that in Swamp Palace in whichever order he feels like doing. Yoshi just needs to get back to Skull Woods to finish that off.
Yeah, it's pretty easy with the flute after you leave Desert.
Yep. Just gotta remember to do it. Actually, the scary part is if you forget to do it, you're still getting into GT. Then you'll drop into Ganon and he'll say bad things about you because you can't actually finish the game. Nice to have silvers on land mode, though. Oh, that's a really good question.
Yeah,
we're heading up to
not
Turtle
sure.
Rock, and I'm not sure. I mean, our trackers, I trust our trackers, say he has not finished Desert Palace. I mean, it's easy to miss things on 4 screens, but that's going to be very unfortunate if that's the case.
Yeah, Osora just has the 2 mountain dungeons left to go, and Mufte maybe needs to declimb and do desert. That would be a little unfortunate if so. And yeah, I've pulled up his stream, and his personal tracker does not show that as a completed dungeon, so here we are.
And in the meantime, Yoshi didn't do Skull Woods. Now, as long as he remembers he didn't do Skull Woods, he's fine, because you can still get into GT, Skull Woods being a pendant. And maybe this is just, I'm going to go into GT, I'm going to get that key layout as quickly as I can, get that information to my teammate, and then I will go ahead and go into, and do Skull Woods last. So this may not be a forget thing.
Yeah, this may be an intentionally trying to push an advantage thing.
Yep. Whereas for Mufte, you're not going up to GT without 7 crystals. So this is definitely a mistake. Now, if Yoshi jumps into Ganon, then we start worrying. Because I believe the text at the beginning of the fight is different, but you can get to phase 4 before you realize that anything's wrong. And don't ask me how I know that, but I do. The hits just won't land. The mushroom. Alright, see our numbers in chat. Go ahead and put them in now. If you guess 1 or 2, though, you're gonna lose.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe this was a little miscommunication on Clown College's part, where they were trying to get a runner into Turtle Rock more quickly to get the lay of the land.
Maybe. Thing is, Go Mode Turtle Rock isn't particularly faster than regular Turtle Rock, so even knowing the key layout doesn't do as much in this dungeon as it does in most others. So, a little bit weird. Alright, we've gone 6 without a big key. Which will be 7 with a container heart. We're not grabbing that. Wouldn't blame anyone for picking that up in co-op within, having fewer hearts, but we're pretty healthy at this point.
You've got the blue mail, you've got most or all of a row of hearts. It's a reasonable equipment level, especially when you've got 3 or 4 swords.
There's a completely useless bottle, because we're never filling it. Yeah, Bumble could still check the waterfall chest and get the lamp. I doubt he does, but you never know.
Osora getting into a little bit of a situation here, health-wise, in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I don't know what his bottles have. And looks like number 12 on the big key, if I did my math there correctly.
That would be double firebar?
Make that 13. It was Fire Snake.
Okay, Fire Snake 13.
I forgot about the double fire bar. I've learned that if you go the Dark Magician route, you get to 11 before you go after Stalfos room. Not Dark Magician. If you go Big Key, if you go right side, Hope right, which is what Yoshi did. You start, just learning what numbers fall where. There is a small key on Laser Bridge, but you're probably not going to run into the silvers, because silvers were the last check.
Yeah, Mufte has already missed it and told Osora where that small key is, so Clown College not going to have silvers today.
Not going to have them. Again, that is not the big issue. The big issue is that Mufte is about to head over to GT, and it's going to be very sad. Unless we all miss the desert clear, in which case this gets kind of interesting.
Including his own personal tracker.
Yeah, that's yep, there it is. Yeah, there's the pause, the look at the menu to see. And let's face it, we've all done this. If you tell me you haven't, you're lying.
It's less easy to do in these days of auto tracking, but co-op adds that different dynamic where normally you're racing, you're more focused on your own game, but in co-op you've got somebody else in your ear, you're trying to share information about not just the dungeon you're in, but the dungeon that they're in, the things that you're still looking for. And Bumble's at least going to do Mire before going up to GT. Go ahead and get the silvers. It's going to make that Landmo 2 fight a little easier. You don't have to worry so much about magic usage in other places if you can just silver down those, the 3 worms.
Yeah, Bumble could go ahead and do GT first and then do Mire and Hera, but Hera in particular you're going to do before GT because it would be an extra mountain climb and that'd be silly. Mire kind of doesn't matter. But yeah, I like getting those silvers certainly will help.
And it's nice. The layout is free enough that there's nothing you're going to find at this point that's going to make this any quicker. Just go ahead and knock it off the board.
Now Sora has that mirror rod is ready to go into Hera, which with the hookshot will be quick.
Okay, now Mufte is taking care of business. He's going to climb back up here and get into GT. Osora going to be the first one on Clown College in because, well, the worm doesn't have anything else to say about that. It's just going to explode. And this is likely to be one of those co-op instances where, as a team, you've probably practiced this a bit, and you've made decisions about how much gap you want between the runners, and thus what flavor of GT routing you're going to go for. This feels like it's broken up enough that I would go with the classic kind of DM for the first runner in.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we do see both, even with the desert issues, we do see Osora and Mufte are both going to both be in GT shortly. So this is starting to look very much like a 1-4 versus 2-3. So we may have to do some math to figure out which of our teams is going to win this. Remember, this is average time. There, Yoshi's going to go into Skull Woods. Fortunately, does remember this, so it was definitely by design to go ahead and get into GT faster. Or I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say it was by design.
And you'll have an easy trip back. Having Aga 1 already done means you can just save and quit in the Dark World and be on top of the pyramid.
You know, and that might have been part of the thought process, is that, you know, with Aga dead already, you're not doing Castle Tower last. You just have that little advantage. Alright, Bumble done with Misery Mire is going to head over to GT, but we'll take the pit stop in Hera first.
Oh, interesting. Clown College has Osora trying to go the full classical DM route. I expect that Mufte is going to be calling him back here very shortly.
That's not going to help them out at all. That's a little unfortunate. I wonder if they're... I mean, you know, we're deep into this playoffs, and, you know, the runners have done a lot of these by now. And I wonder if they found that just overall this has worked out better for them. And just in this particular seed, it just not the right answer.
And that's the moth down for Yoshi, who's just going to have to pick up this dungeon prize and then safe quit to the top of the pyramid.
Yep.
And then you just get to fight the pig and you put the other team on the clock.
Yep. Alright, there we are. Yoshi into the Ganon fight. So we're about to get his big key, so we'll have two climbers on our right side, and Bumble needs to finish this Hera play, which will be very quick, because we have a hook shot. I was going for the hook speed. Hook speed's still a pretty fast strat, but with the newest Hera pot setup, you see a lot less than we used to, I think.
It's still nice, especially in situations where either you don't have a lot of health and you can't afford the bomb, or you don't have enough bombs to support that, or in something like Randomizer where you have to get into the location really quickly because otherwise there's a fire bar or a roller or something.
Yep.
So it's definitely a tech that's still worth knowing, and it's got its applications, but Bread Bowl has largely supplanted it.
Yeah, Bumble almost fell through that middle hole. Did a nice job saving that. You know, when you fall, it's bad enough to fall in general, but when you fall with a gold sword, that just feels bad. In the meantime, Yoshi finishes with an official race time of 1:23.22.
And now the seconds start ticking down. You have to imagine that at least one member of Clown College knows that happened, and they know that time is no longer on their side. Mufte's up here in Torches 2 already. Osora about to fight the second edition of Landmolas. It doesn't feel like with the lack of the silvers that they're going to have enough time to eke this one out, but we'll see.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't help, the lack of silvers.
Osora having a little trouble there in Wizroads 2. Still gets through the room, though.
Yeah, Wizard 1 is the room where once you see someone do the Kana Samaria strat, it's very easy to copy. Wizards 2, you actually have to practice it and learn where to put the cane block and to actually get it. Not that it's hard, but yeah, it's not free either.
Yeah, I think it's just a little less, what's the word I'm looking for there? You can see it and you can know what you're supposed to do, but you still have to sit down and convince yourself that these really are the motions that I have to make.
Yep. I think that's a good way to put it.
Mufte has Agatu down, Osora into the Moldorm 2 fight, and Bumble about to get into the gauntlet.
Yeah, and you know, for anybody that missed it, the reason why the runners aren't doing Castle Tower is because we had to do it earlier. It turns out Arcana Samaria decided to be sitting on the Lumberjack today. And you know, I think when we think back to where that lamp ended up being, actually that's not even true. You know, we think back to that lamp was not that deep in the logic. It's just that no one wanted to go to Eastern to get the free hook shot. And who wants to go to Eastern without a bow anyway?
Yeah, we're getting close to Yoshi having put 3 whole minutes on the board for his team, which is giving Bumble a decent chunk of leeway here.
Yeah, something I think we both missed as all the runners were doing Aga 1. Apparently, Mufte missed a couple of the energy balls and lost a bit of time there. So a lot of little things adding up, that and the mistake of forgetting to do desert, definitely hurting.
Yeah, the additional 30 or 45 seconds for that extra mountain climb that he didn't need to make. You have to think that that's looming large in his thought process here as he goes ahead with his spins on Phase 4 Ganon.
Yep, we got dueling Ganon fights over on our right side.
Looks like Osora needs one more hit to get through Phase 3 here. Not sure how many more spins Mufte needs, but it can't be many.
I can't even count those when I'm playing, let alone when I'm watching somebody else do it. Osora getting by both avenues. Yeah, that Turtle Rock had those silvers.
And Mufte across the line.
So 128.16. So yeah, this is not looking good for Clown College. The time difference is 4 minutes and 54 seconds. which means that Bumble needs to finish within that time of whatever Asura puts up. And he's about to get into, so he'd have to make a mistake, I think.
Yeah, if he was also doing the silverless, then you think maybe that Ganon fight can extend out a little bit, but
Yep.
we're talking about something substantial happening to Bumble here.
And Asura finishing up at 129 flat, which means we have till 133.54 if you're Bumble. And if Yoshi in particular is probably the one paying attention, because, you want the runner that's not having to do the things. Probably has already either figured out, maybe not figured out the exact number, but figured out that, okay, just do your thing on Ganon and you'll be fine.
Yeah, this is where, as the teammates, you're saying things like, just take it easy, you've got plenty of time, nothing to worry about.
Yep.
You've done the pig fight 1,000 times before, just do it again.
Hello.
We're joined by a member of Clown College. Mufte, good game.
Hello, GG's, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna hold off because we don't know who won yet.
Yes, very technically.
We need Bumble to finish off. I know you know the result, but Bumble has to finish this off in enough time, so
Sorry.
the classic 1-4-2-3 finish. No problem. Just hang out. We'll get to everybody. All right, Bumble already in phase 3.
Ganon does a little.
That's a
warping
lot
around
of
right
warp
here.
in this.
Yeah, just a bit.
Should be a double here. There's that last arrow.
Going to stay a solid 2.5 tiles away from that gap up there at the top of the screen. You don't want anything untoward to happen there. And go ahead and get your GGs in chat. Bumble crosses the line, and Psyduck-Psychos is going to take this game 1 in the best of 3 series.
Yeah, finishing up with an official time of 1:31.16 and Mufte. And I apologize if I'm saying that wrong.
It's okay.
Welcome in.
Yeah, hello.
Welcome
hello.
in.
hello.
Yeah,
a little unfortunate what happened to me in front of GTE, but luckily it wasn't just that.
No, not by itself, no.
Yeah, luckily I would have felt. I mean, I already feel bad, but I would have felt really bad if that was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was an interesting. The bow was really interesting because I think Yoshi was the one that found their bow on Turtle Rock Laser Bridge, which you were never getting because you got the bow. Your team got the bow off of Vitreous.
Yeah, I thought about that. I mean, he said it in the race time room, but I thought about that now, and I think in co-op you should always check for silvers if you're a little ahead of your teammate, because that's like 1 minute and 20 seconds or something overall in Ganon saved just because of the silvers.
Yeah.
And also the second person can skip all the chests that you checked for the silvers. Like, yeah, it's a thing to keep in mind for the next race. Definitely.
Yep. Although I think are you guys doing retrons tomorrow? Is that right?
Yeah, my teammates will play retrons.
Oh right, okay. So you'll be the one sitting out. So so if it goes to game 3 and you all do some Randomizer, it'll be something to think about, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, but otherwise, I mean, it was a really nice close race. A good run by everybody. You all found the lamp. Psyduck-Psychos skipped that chest, but by then it didn't do much. It was a little more important for you guys anyway because the lamp allows you to have much easier torch glitch. which the other team
true.
wasn't going to need. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, that was one of the few differences. But yeah, it was looking like the logic was going to be really weird, and then we found there was the hook shot sitting there in Sphere 1 Eastern.
Yeah.
But nobody got. And you know what? I mean, it's Bolus Eastern. Who wants to do that, right?
Yeah, going into Eastern without a bow is always... Yeah, it's a rough decision every time.
Yep. I mean, both teams did a pod dip for nothing. Other than knowledge that of the key locations, but no one touched Eastern until they had a bow. So.
And it was the very first chest. Oh god. Yeah, it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but yeah.
Yep. I mean, you got tomorrow. You got your veterans. You got your teammates going. I always like to ask this, even though I kind of know the answer. Is it harder to play or is it harder to watch?
I think it's harder to watch because you can't really influence what's happening, and you just have to look at it. Especially in Randomizer, when you know that let's like cold stare on here Trinex on ice.
Mm-hmm.
When you know that one is happening, even I get nervous then.
I have to completely agree. Of course, Veterans tomorrow is its own beast.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't understand that much about entrance modes, so I can't really...
Does that make it easier to watch when you're
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's what you have teammates for. They play the modes you don't understand.
Yeah, true.
Exactly. No, it does look like the other racers are not going to come in. I know you're all English second language, so we appreciate it that when people come in, when it's not their native language. So thank you for joining us, and we totally understand if the others don't want to.
Yeah, Osora is a bit sick today. That's why he didn't come today.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's another reason not to come in. Yeah, when you're not feeling well, and especially after a loss, you don't really. I can definitely see just get some soup and go to bed or something, because I know it's pretty late for you all too. So
it's okay. It's 8 p.m.
That's not too bad.
It's still fine. Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else you want to add before we close it out?
Is there something? I don't know. I was hoping for the green panda to have the hook shot. I don't know if nice. I don't know if they did.
They checked it too, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the biggest difference was the TR versus the Meyer play, I'd say.
TR versus Maya.
Yeah, you go getting your bows in different places, and just Yoshi was pretty efficient in clearing out the seed for Bumble to follow, so that worked out really well for them.
Yeah, and the Psyduck-Psychos getting their first bow in TR meant they were always getting silvers because the other one was on the critical path. You don't get to avoid killing Vitreous.
Yeah. So they were able to go mode Maya as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think everybody's go mode was the hook shot. So yeah. So we got to see a bunch of go mode dungeons, yeah.
You're right, then I don't really have anything more to add.
All right. Well, thank you again. Thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
For commentating and everything.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure. And tomorrow's race is the same time and probably going to be the same channel. Although I imagine that has not been determined yet. This time it will be Retrance with Yoshi and Crackerito versus Osora and Boo This Man. Also for the Open, we have a race scheduled on Wednesday evening at 7:10 between the the names aren't on here yet.
Underachievers and Underachievers.
Thank you. P-Train and Sabatender versus W. Garrison and you. Well, that's why you know.
Yes. I have a reason to be familiar with this one.
You have a very good reason to know who's playing in that one. We do have some invitational races on the schedule. Tomorrow night at 11:30 p.m. we have To Infinity and Pagog versus Don't Forget to Track Us. That'll be game 2. A pilot race with Relkin versus Flipeel. No word on who the pilots are. And then on Wednesday at 4 o'clock, we have Last Location Years versus Potato Pouch, is game 2. Also a pilot. Also, that will be Zenerkane versus Tam. Also not telling us who the pilots are, so I'm not going to guess. We'll know by the time that those races happen, so not too worried about that. But looking forward as we get fewer and fewer games, so definitely keep an eye out on those schedules. Everything should get restreams, so make sure you're watching out for those. But yeah, me and DM, it was a pleasure. Glad you joined me and saved me from soloing a 4-player race.
Yeah, it was a good time keeping track of 4 players. It takes 2 commentators, 2 trackers, and everybody out there in Chatland, because
sure
without all that, they're doing a whole lot more than we can deal with.
Absolutely, and huge
shout out. I had a blast.
Yeah, thank you very, very much, and huge shout outs to Derek and WinFox for doing the tracking. Trackers, as I say, always are MVP, so thank you very much to them. And thank you all in chat, and yeah, we'll see you at the next race.